But you are not dead, Rachel. Quite the opposite. You were not placed on this earth to destroy, but to heal.
Hello everyone, my name is Luke Sittenauer, coming to you today with another Titans breakdown video. This time we'll be looking at episodes 7 and 8 entitled Asylum and Donna Joy. And right off the bat, I couldn't find any connection between episode 7 and Batman the Arkham Asylum, video games, or comic books. And with that out of the way, let's get started. Early on in the episode, Rachel's talking to Dr. Adamson. To demonstrate her powers, Dr. Adamson cuts himself. Rachel puts her hands on his wound, healing it. At one point, she lets out a groan. I think that might be her taking on his pain, as that's what she does in the comics. One of the cool shots in this episode comes when Dick is torturing Dr. Adamson. Because of the reflection of the windows, it looks like Dick's face is being superimposed onto Dr. Adamson's. Now, there's probably some deep philosophical meaning to this, but I'm just here to have some fun, so let's keep the train rolling. In the next scene, Rachel's birth mother is revealed to still be alive. In the show, her name is Angela Azarath. In the comics, she either goes by Angela Roth or Ariella. In the show, her last name is Azarath, which is sort of like an interdimensional church. I talked about it in one of my previous videos. In that same scene, Gar lies to Dick and Corey, later telling Rachel he would do anything to see his mom again. In the comics, both of his parents died in a boating accident shortly after he got his powers. Alright, this next one's a little funny. After Dick gets tied up, he struggles for a bit, and I've seen this a couple of times, and I think it kind of reminds me of a baby getting strapped into a car seat, the way he kind of, jiggles like that. While Gar is being tortured, his tormentor tells him to give in. Sometimes in the comics, when Gar loses control, he transforms into mythical beasts. Sometimes it's a sea dragon, and other times it's a Bigfoot-type creature. Another shot that I really like comes when Dr. Adamson is pouring a glass of tea. The camera starts sideways and slowly turns upright. After administering drugs, the head scientist remarks that Dick Grayson's brain activity is low. Now this might be a stretch, but in the Silver Age Teen Titans one-shot, a modern comic meant to revisit the Silver Age of comics. In it, the Teen Titans get captured and Robin is attached to a device. If he thinks too hard, it'll zap him. And somehow, without thinking too hard, he manages to escape and free the others. Another shot that I really enjoy is when Dick fakes a cardiac arrest and then tries to escape. Something I missed in the last video was the Batcave and the Batmobile. Luckily, they both make a reappearance in Dick's hallucinations. Something else that happens during the hallucinations is that a younger version of Dick Grayson is fighting the present-day version. I believe it was Chuck Dixon who said that while writing the Nightwing comics that Dick is his own worst enemy. So remember when I said that Rachel heals Dr. Adamson? Well, in another crazy shot, Rachel takes it back. And there's no way that any cable network would allow this. So I don't think YouTube's going to allow it either. So if you want to see it, it's really crazy. You should definitely see it. Just go watch the episode. It's on the DC streaming service. Go ahead, go watch it. I'll be waiting. Something that left me a little confused is Angela's cell number is 732. The camera lingers on it for a bit, as though the number has some significance, but as far as I could tell, it doesn't mean anything. So if you know what it is, I'd love to hear about it in the comments below. Now it's revealed that Rachel has the same tattoo/marking in the exact same spot as the Alkalite from the first two episodes. Now my theory is that this is the mark of Raven's soul self, because at the end of the first episode it was shown entering the Alkalite, and of course it lives inside of Rachel. Another scene worth discussion is when Beast Boy is set free, he cuts loose on his tormentor. Afterwards, Gar has a callback to his earlier line about how he never ate anybody. Something a lot of people are saying about this episode is that it's not the Titans. Bringing up the scene I just mentioned, people will say that the real Beast Boy wouldn't kill anybody. Except that's not true. Maybe the anime Titans wouldn't kill anybody, but the comics are a different story. And that's what makes the Wolfman and Perez stories so interesting. They are real people that had to make real tough decisions. They're not just another superhero team. A lot of the times, they're just friends with superpowers that like to hang out. I like to point out the scene when Rachel snaps Dick out of his trance, with the line, "You promised you'd never leave me." You never see that exchange between characters like Batman or Superman because they're not friends, they're just colleagues brought together for the greater good. Again, the only reason why the Titans stay together is because they're friends. Anyway, let's move on. After the team rescues Corey, Dick carries her. Often in the comics, Kori would carry Dick as she flew around the city to get from place to place easier. Another awesome shot comes after Dick fights the guards. He sees in a puddle a reflection of Robin smiling. He throws a wrench at it, distorting the image. The point is further emphasized when Dick burns his Robin suit at the end of the episode. Let's move on to the next episode, titled Donna Troy. But first, I'd like to take you back to last summer when the first trailer dropped. It was not a good trailer, as you probably recall, and I had zero interest in watching the show. However, once I heard that Donna Troy was going to be on it, I decided, what the heck, I'd at least check it out. And that is a decision that I do not regret. I may have said this already in a previous video, but regardless, Donna Troy first appeared in The Brave and the Bold number 60, created by Bob Haney and Bruno Premiani. Early on in the Teen Titans' existence, the creators realized that the team needed a female, because up until that point it was just the three dudes, Robin, Kid Flash, and Aqualad. No problem, they thought, just throw in Wonder Girl. However, what they didn't realize was that the only appearance of Wonder Girl at that point was a prequel comic starring a younger Diana Prince, Wonder Woman. So for a couple of the first issues of Teen Titans, she was simply called Wonder Girl because Diana Prince was already Wonder Woman, so this was just Wonder Girl, until they chose the name Donna Troy and made a new origin story, but more on that in a bit. In the opening scene of this episode, we see a young Dick Grayson and Donna Troy hanging out. Like I mentioned earlier, the Titans are just friends, and most of the time they're sidekicks hanging out. We also get a shout out in this scene to Justice League, Wonder Woman, and the Joker. I didn't know this until recently, but apparently there are a bunch of people that want Dick and Donna to be together. Not only in the show, but also in the comics, which is one couple that never actually happened before. Something I failed to mention earlier in the first couple issues of the new Teen Titans, that was the Wolfman and Perez run, the Titans actually, their base, until they get Titans Tower in like issue 8, is Bruce Wayne's apartment in New York, just like this one, except this is in Chicago. There are three things that bother me in this episode. The first being Gar, having been pre-established as a vegan, is shown cooking with non-vegan food. And I can't 100% confirm this, but he may or may not have bacon on his plate when he's eating. 7 brownie points to Becca, who pointed this out. At the beginning of this series, Dick drives a Porsche, but once he starts his transition from Robin to Nightwing, he trades it in for a blue minivan. Blue is the color most often associated with Nightwing. In the comics, Donna Troy is a photographer, just like in the show. In the comics, Starfire is actually one of her models. At one point, Donna calls Dick Wonder Boy, and of course, as everybody knows, Wonder Boy is Robin's subtitle. I absolutely love the scene at Donna's art exhibition. The chemistry between Dick Grayson and Donna Troy is phenomenal. However, one change I noticed from the comics is that Dick is very social, but in the show, he's not. I understand why they made this change, because realistically, if someone is fighting crime every night, they wouldn't have much of a social life. When Angela is explaining Trigon to Rachel, a few choice words kind of stuck out to me. She used the word charismatic to describe Trigon, which I would definitely disagree with. To me at least, he's definitely more of a theatrical type. She also said that he's, quote, gone now, which implies he probably won't be showing up in this season. Here's the second thing I didn't really like about this episode. When Kori asks Gar if he wants to make out with Rachel. I said this in a previous episode, but the age difference between Tegan Croft, who plays Rachel, and Ryan Potter, who plays Beast Boy, is like 9 years, I think. So no, Kori, he does not want to make out with Rachel. Also in this scene, Kori tells Gar not to be ashamed to kill. Like what I mentioned earlier, Starfire in the comics kills unapologetically. She kills and she's not ashamed of it. That's just what she does. That's what her whole race is. They act on their emotions. In this scene where Dick is geeking out over analog film, the picture that he's standing in front of is actually a wing up against the night sky. And I'll let you be the detective there. Also, in this scene, Dick says he ate 100 bacon-wrapped dates. I've never had one of those, but that sounds delicious. So if any of you have had a bacon-wrapped date, please let me know if it was good, because I want that. Also, after this interaction that Dick has, he wonders aloud what the Penguin is up to, which is pretty funny. And in the scene when Donna Troy goes undercover, one of the thugs' name is Terry, and in the comics, Terry Lang is the name of the man that Donna Troy would marry in Tales of the Teen Titans number 50. Later, Dick and Donna discuss her plan to let one of the poachers go in favor of catching them all later down the road. In the comics, when Dick faces similar ultimatums, he'll often choose to catch the one thug now and catch them all one by one instead of playing the long game. Towards the end of the episode, Dick and Donna have a kind of heated discussion, and if this were Arrow, the discussion would be a very one-sided lecture. Felicity'd be yelling, "It's not fun. I like Arrow, but that's just, I don't like Felicity." That's all I'm saying. Donna Troy's origin story gets briefly hinted at when she says, Wonder Woman helped fill the hole created by the fire. In the comics, after her orphanage burns down, she's rescued by Wonder Woman, so it's a very literal fire she's referring to. At one point, Dick says he doesn't want to be Batman, because in the comics he was Batman, but he didn't like it. To which Donna responds, "You must be someone else, something else." And that is, word for word, the episodic introduction to Arrow. At one point, Corey asks, "Where's Rachel?" I like to think this is a reference to The Dark Knight, but it's probably not. During a flashback, we see Corey piloting an alien spaceship. In the comics, she is a slave to space pirates. She steals one of their ships and lands on Earth. However, we later learn in this episode that her origin was slightly changed. At the end of the episode, Donna decodes Corey's mission statement, saying it refers to her as the Starfire, which is her superhero name, and her mission is to kill the Raven. And that's it. That's the end of the episode. Boy, do I love a cliffhanger. So, next video is going to be, we're going to take a break from the Titans. We're going to do a video on the Elseworlds crossover. So, by the time this video is up, it's probably already going to, the Elseworlds is going to already probably have aired. But just wait. We're going to do a crossover video. Just wait. Meanwhile, if you want to join the conversation, check out our Facebook group, Casual Experts. You can follow me on Instagram at @TheLKX. This video is edited by Rebecca Bacon. You can follow her on Instagram at BeccaJBacon. If you want to contribute, we do have a Patreon, and you'll find links to all those in the description. Until next time, my name is Luke Sittenauer, reminding you to be excellent to each other and party on, dude.